3, 2, 1.
So,
3, 2,
John,
1, man.
how's your day going?
That's my day. It's zipping by. I don't know how the time flies.
Yeah, I can't believe it's already Sunday.
Sunday?
It's not Sunday?
No.
Oh, okay. I get so confused on these days. They all blend in. One blends into the next one.
All that they do.
Yeah. I've been watching Crafters all afternoon.
Yes.
And they were
I've been keeping you
amazing.
company.
And they were amazing, weren't they?
They were.
You get so many ideas and inspiration and all ready to craft.
I think it could go up a little bit, Mary.
Okay. Look.
I know.
Here we go.
uh.
Another day in paradise, John.
Have to wait for the delay. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you.
Is it too high?
That looks better.
Oh, here it looks much higher.
No, it looks great.
I mean much too high.
Candy says she's sort of here. She's making tacos and a side dish.
Oh boy, that's what we had, tacos.
Good to see you, Debbie. Good to see you, Candy.
Well, soft shell. I had a big salad. John had
Hi, Debbie C. Good to see you.
flour tortillas.
Hi, Ada. Good to see you.
Hi, everybody.
We're in a 2-minute warm-up, and there's less than a minute.
And it's chilly down here. I need to warm up.
It
It's
is.
very chilly down here.
It is a little chilly.
We had a dreary, weird day. Sun, skies opened up, pouring rain.
Hi, Susan. Good
Dreary.
to see you.
Skies opened up again, pouring rain.
Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
Sunny. Skies opened up, pouring rain. Drizzle.
Hi, Susan. Oh, I did say hi, Susan. Hi,
Wait
Janice.
5 minutes,
Good to see
it
you.
keeps
Thank you.
changing. Every 5 minutes it was changing, wasn't it today?
Yes, it's just that kind of day.
Yeah, you never posted the pictures of what you did today. Remember, I took a picture of what you did today.
I don't even remember you taking a picture.
Yeah, I did. And you said, oh, we should take more and make a reel. And I'm like, no, let's just take one picture
Oh, okay.
and make it a picture.
Now I remember.
A real picture, R-E-A-L.
Now I remember.
Okay, here we are. It's Marilyn and John with Done By Me, coming to you live from Magnolia Hall on the Delaware. And where are we in the house, John?
Looks like we're in the tavern.
We're in the tavern basement of our 1789 farmhouse.
All right.
So,
Hi, Fredna. Good to see you.
for those that don't know,
For those that don't know. And hey, welcome to the Vintage Country Crafting Friends group. Say that real fast 5 times. I don't know. But hope you had a chance to check out the other crafters today. And Janice, thanks for inviting us along. It's always a privilege and honor to be here. We're happy to be here. And we're bringing up the rear tonight, Mara.
so I've been collecting. We've been rarely going to the flea market anymore because we already have 50 pounds of collectibles, we'll call it nicely collectibles, and a 1 pound sack.
Hi, Laura.
So
Thank you.
after building the
for
barn, we
sprinkling.
now have 50 pounds of collectibles in a 2 pound sack.
Hi, Jeannie. Good to see you.
So we don't need any more collectibles.
Good to see you too, Lori. It's Jeannie.
But,
Francis.
oh yeah, hi Jeannie, hi Lori. Was it Lori?
Yeah, Lori, resiliently
Yeah.
crafting. She sprinkled. Thanks for sprinkling.
Thank you. Yeah, we had fun watching everybody. And normally John doesn't watch with me, but the opportunity was he got to see a few of the crafts with me.
Yeah, that was fun.
He had to do his chores first, but we'll post that, I
Ada
guess.
says she wished she had your energy.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of energy. I wish I had
Seems
what
like
I
a
had
lot of
a
energy when
a
she's
year
on
ago.
here.
But my health has been slowing me down some recently. But I'm so excited about coming on and being with my friends and socializing and sharing. So I started to say we really have been avoiding buying a lot of stuff. It's hard to believe, but when you see it's been months of things piling up that I wanted to share, I thought if I show it and put it away, then it's not even like I bought it. So if I leave these boxes hanging around unshown and unorganized, it'll be clutter and I won't want to buy more. But we went to one flea market.
Hi, Judy. Good to see you.
And
Judy Davis.
hi, Judy.
Hi, Arlene. Good to see you.
Hi, Arlene. So you walk by the tables and, you know, there's some junk. There's a woman that has clothes for $1 each. John got some pants, right? A couple pairs of pants and 4 pairs of pants. And I always tell him, if you find somebody has one thing your size at a place like that, usually it's more.
That's what happened.
And that's what happened.
Hi, Linda G. Good to see you.
4 pairs of pants in his size. He was all excited. And what did you end up spending? They weren't $1. They were a little bit more.
They were $2.
$2 a piece. So he spent $8 for 4 pairs of pants. But for some reason, he wears through the knees. And if you remember, at least when I was young,
Hi, Linda.
my
Good
mother
to see
would
you.
buy those iron-on patches, and you would iron them on the knees if you broke through. And they were really, really, really rough. And you hated it when she put it on because it would be so abrasive on your knees. I always had to wear dresses to school back then. You were allowed to wear pants under your dress when it was cold, but you had to take the pants off when you got to school. But my play clothes were all my cast off of my brother's, so every pair of pants had those scratchy, rough, annoying knees. But
Debbie says she hopes her doctor gives her some good options to cure her sciatica nerve pain tomorrow. It's been 4 months with this.
oh boy, I
Well,
know
we say
some
prayers for you there, Linda.
some of the
Debbie, I'm
exercises.
sorry. I hope you do get good news because I know that's no fun.
Yeah, I know exercises, and then there's like the chiropractor and stuff. Sometimes you can get relief. And at one time, I had acupuncture and for some health issues, and that really gave me relief. I'd seen a dog have...
Debbie says she sure has enjoyed your content since she discovered you.
Oh, well, thanks so
She's
much. We're glad you're here.
A new follower.
And I appreciate you making comments. That's wonderful. That feeds our ego and gives me energy. So anyway, we went to the
Hi,
flea
Patricia.
market.
Good to see you.
I never can stay on a topic. I wander off. But
And thank you, Patricia.
this is going to be a bunch of tangled tales tonight, so just follow. Things will hopefully come together at the end. But anyway, you go past the tables, and usually the first table where we park for this flea market are the clothes, and John's all excited, and he looks for pants and T-shirts and things. So I walk ahead, and I see this book, and I know it's backwards, but it's Miss America in Pursuit of the Crown. Now,
Linda G says her mom would roll her pants up under her skirt, Navy commissionary. The women wouldn't wear pants there either.
yeah, that's...
Debbie says, thank you very much. I've tried everything except acupuncture. Well, I hope the doc has some good news for
Yeah,
us.
see what, I know they have pain management centers too. They sent me to one of those at one time.
Hi, Nora. Good to see you.
But,
Thank you.
I refuse to take pain medication, so that's always a problem. But anyway, I saw this book on Miss America, and it stopped me dead in my tracks.
Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you.
Growing up, you know, when they had the Miss America competition on TV, it was a big deal. Everybody hovered around the TV, and you watched, and you all were deciding and rooting for somebody, some state, and all. And the Miss America competition, if you didn't know, was in Atlantic City, New Jersey. At the time, I lived maybe half hour, 40 minutes from Atlantic City.
Hi, Ada with an AI.
We
Good to
never
see you.
went, but we went to Atlantic City, but not for the Miss America contest. But it was always like a big deal for everybody's family
Thanks,
in
Ada.
my area for watching it.
Thanks, Nora.
Very middle-class 50s activity watching it. Well, now fast forward, and I'm going to say, what year was 9/11, John? What year was 9/11?
Was it 2001?
I don't know. It was, yeah, it was something like that, 2001. It was before 9/11. I'm going to say 5 years before 9/11. One of my friends, and I always like to have really smart friends that know a lot of stuff, and many of them I've brought on here. So you've had the privilege of meeting my friend Rich and my friend Rob And I'm going to try to get another one of my friends to
Linda
come on.
Jesus, 2001.
2001. Isn't that, we
Debbie
remember 9/11.
Pain meds don't touch this pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't help her pain.
It's supposed to be bad.
Hi, Lady T. Good to see you.
But, hello,
Hi,
everybody.
Sandy, good to see
If
you.
I get easily distracted, so I'm trying to focus on my story. But hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate all your kind thoughts and comments and all. So anyway, I had this really amazing friend. She knew all this stuff. She's the one that told me about the parades in Philadelphia, and my daughter and I would be balloon handlers, and we would be involved, and we've been captain of things in the parade in Philadelphia, the Thanksgiving Day parade and the 4th of July parade, and involved in a lot of things, and tour guides and all these things in Philadelphia that you volunteer for. But anyway, she was telling me, let's go to the Miss America contest. And I'm like, what? Go to the contest? She said, well, the day before, so the competition, I think, was on Saturday. The day before, they had the Miss America parade. Whoa. You know, everybody said it's such a big deal. So I think
Thanks, Lady T.
the first year we went on a bus trip, and I forget what we paid. It wasn't all that expensive. I'm going to say maybe $25 or something like that, or $15, I don't know. But for your money, you got a ride. You went to a shopping center and got picked up, got on the bus, took you to Atlantic City. When you got off, they gave you a...
Lady T lived in South Jersey in 2001.
Oh, where did she live?
Where were you, Lady T?
So they give you like a voucher that you could go into a casino and gamble with that voucher. Well, we got the voucher. I didn't want to gamble. We got the voucher and we cashed it in. And they also gave you a voucher towards food, like a minimal thing, but they gave you that too. So we went and we got the food. But they also gave you a ticket for a seat. And so they had lined up all along the boardwalk these folding chairs, just thousands of them all along in rows. So there may be like 4 or 5 deep, and just row after row after row of these chairs, folding chairs. So you run out, and there are like guides there, but you try to find an empty seat, one that isn't taken yet. And once you get the seat, you don't want to move. And we were very fortunate. Somehow we got front row seats for this. So the ticket included a voucher to gamble, which we went into the casinos and cashed it in. It gave us like a few bucks towards some food, which I don't even remember what we got, like not much, like a dinner roll and something, cup of coffee.
I mean, it was Egg Harbor Township.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we know where that is.
Yeah, that's cool.
We had a store on Route 9 in Claremont. Some people called it Cape May Courthouse, but we were right on Route 9. We had a shop and a barn and all, and a little house there. I don't remember what years we had it. But, so anyway.
She said she worked for Superior Court in Atlantic City for 10 years.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Did she tell us? I'm trying to remember whether we knew that or not.
I don't know.
I'm really good. My best skill these days are forgetting, so I'm sorry if we ask you this and we act like we're surprised. It's like Groundhog Day. Every day it's a new day with the same thing. But anyway, we went and we watched the parade, and somewhere I hope I find, I had a little brochure that I bought, and each page had one of the beauty contestants from each state. It was really neat. So you could look at that and you could take notes. So when the parade started, they had all these, if you never saw it on TV, it is really amazing and even more amazing in person. So they had all these fancy convertibles, and if you're into vintage cars and fancy cars, like John would love to have seen this. They came along and they would have a contestant in each car, And what did you yell, guys? Do you know what you yelled when the contestant came by you?
Sandy says, always watched Miss America, but she never picked the winner.
Oh, yeah, that's hard to pick. But they look so different in person than on TV. Some of them you wouldn't even recognize it.
Lady T says she's been to Cape May Courthouse.
Oh, yeah, so you've probably been near our store where we had it.
Hi, Allegra, good to see you.
But what did you yell when the contestant came by? They were beautiful. They were all made up. The person driving the car was so professional. They had people walking along the side to keep you from hopping up. And
hi, Lori, good to see you.
Trying to,
That's another name of the book.
Oh, yeah, the name of the book is Miss America in Pursuit of the Crown. So what you yell is, show me your shoes at the top of your lungs. As each contestant came in front of where you're sitting in her car, and they just drove slowly along the boardwalk, and you can't picture that the boardwalk could handle the weight of all these cars. Like, I don't know how many contestants there are. It probably says 50, in here, right? Like 50. But then there's like DC and...
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not sure. But you would yell, show me your shoes, and it was later in the competition that they started having this shoe thing.
You're welcome.
I guess it was in the 90s or something they started. I don't know the details on that, but it was really neat. If you want to know, you can Google it. I'm not good on precision sometimes. So you yell, show me your shoes, and they would hold up their foot, and they would make their shoes represent their state. So say it was Hawaii, maybe their shoes were looked like big pineapples. I mean, it was really fun, and you could see their personality. Some of them were really friendly, and they'd kind of reach out, and maybe some people would touch their hand. Some of them were very standoffish, and like, I'm a beauty icon, don't get near my car or near me. And some would smile when they were on the camera, and then afterwards they're like, why are you driving like this? And they're all bossy. So you really got to see some of the things of all these women put together. So it was really fun.
Hi, Harley. Good to see you.
So the next year, my daughter was a senior in high school. So I got out of school early enough that I could go down. My daughter would have been later in school. So I offered her a note to get out of school early, and of course she took it. And she and I went down and we watched the competition. It was so much fun. We had such a good time, and judging, you know, figuring out who we wanted to win, and then of course you want to watch the show the next day. Crowds of people just really tight in there. Both times we just ate junk food, you know, and one person has to stay in the seat. The other person has to remember where they came from. And back then, I don't think we had much in the way of cell phones. I don't remember exactly how that was. But it turned out the one time I sat near some friends that I knew, you know, I turned around and I'm like, oh, wait, I know her. But it was really fun. And so it's exciting to have this book, and hopefully sometime I'll sit down and take a good look at it and treasure it. And I'm hoping I find the book, because you wrote notes down on the person, like, oh, she was friendly, and, you know, I loved her shoes, and, you know, you put all this stuff in the book that you got. So
Laura says, how neat.
So it was a big deal, and it was, I don't think I would have spent $25. I don't know what I spent, maybe $15 or whatever. It was very modest, but it was also trying to get you to come down to the casinos to gamble. You could there was a bus that went down to the casinos, and say the bus cost $5, well, you'd get a $10 voucher when you got off the bus in Atlantic City. You would have to go into the casino to cash the voucher, and so they try to get you to go in there to gamble.
Yeah, it kind of does, Allegra, but it was show me your shoes.
Yeah, what's that?
I can't say what she
Oh.
Sally, hi, Sally. Good to see you. She said she spent the summer of '75 working on the boardwalk. She was in college in Kansas City at the time, or Kansas, sorry. And when Miss Kansas went by, they yelled out.
Yeah, show me your shoes. it's just really fun, and everybody's all hyped, and it's a really positive kind of day. But we were planning the next year. We'd already bought tickets for better seating, I think it was, but 9/11 hit, and that was the end of the Miss America parade and all the activities and all that. So I felt really privileged that I had the opportunity to go down. Oh, so I started to say, so for $5, it was like $5. I'm going to be off on the numbers, but I'm just going to guess what kind of I think it was. But like $5, you'd get a $10 voucher. You'd go in, you'd cash it out, and sometimes they gave you a lunch voucher too, so you could eat your lunch. But all the senior citizens in my area, they were out there catching that Atlantic City bus every day because they'd go down, they'd get their $10, so they made money, they got paid. That was like a job. And they got the free lunch at one of the smorgasbords they have there. Remember the smorgasbord story with our friends? The buffet. I haven't said that smorgasbord for a long time.
No worries, Allegra.
I haven't said smorgasbord for like 20 years since we went with our friends that had the tea room in Pennsylvania. And we went and we got that. But
Sally said they yelled out, "Turkey red wheat."
Oh, I don't know what that is.
For Kansas. I don't know what it.
Yeah.
What's it mean, Sally?
But it was just really fun. It was such a nice experience, and we had a good time. But anyway, they would go. They'd get. It was like a job. They'd get the $10. Then they would go and they would. It cost them $5, but they would get 10 back, so they made $5. So then they would go and they'd eat from the free buffet, the ticket that they got. And they said the food was really good on the buffet. And then they'd spend the day on the beach, and then they'd go back, and there was a free bus ride back because you went on the casino bus. So that's what all the senior citizens did. They had their towels and all their stuff, and they'd go for the day. And I just think if you're creative...
Linda says, yeah, now everything is a buffet.
Yeah.
It's not a smorgasbord.
Yeah. We, if you remember when the smorgasbord word first was like, we heard it in the U.S. I think it's a Scandinavian.
Oh, Sally says they grew turkey red wheat in Kansas.
Oh, okay.
I guess is that for, did they grow that for alcohol? Or is it for
bourbon
food?
or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyway, Kentucky, she said. What state?
In Kansas, it's
Kansas.
turkey red wheat.
I'm thinking then I'm switching to Kentucky.
Turkey red wheat.
But, the smorgasbord, and it was such a big deal, and you go to someplace, oh, they have a smorgasbord. It was like so modern and so contemporary. That was like, yeah, that was like a really big deal.
That's
so
before salad bars.
But
right?
about 15 years ago, John and I went to visit a friend a friend of mine from years ago. We hadn't seen her. John had never met her, and we went up, and we went to one of these in Lancaster, one of these buffets. And so when the wait staff came around, they said, "What are you going to have?" And I'm like, "I'm going to have the smorgasbord." I was just trying to be funny, and then I write it down, you know. And then my friend says, "I'm going to have the smorgasbord." But she was like a little apprehensive. And then John says, "I think I'll have the smorgasbord." And then write it down. And then our friend's husband said, "I'm having the smorgasbord." But it was just funny. It was funny at the time, I guess. But anyway, so that's my Miss America.
It's a Swedish term.
Yeah. So that's my Miss America book. So this was on the table. It opened a can of
Brenda says,
worms.
that'd be like royalty, smorgasbord.
Yeah, it just sounds so special. And I hadn't said that word in I don't know how many years, and it just came to mind. And then I was just being silly, and we all went along with it. And, you know, I'm saying you have to make your fun, and a lot of times things are tough or your money's tight or something, and there's still fun to be had. But anyway, I picked up this book, and then the woman that was selling it, I don't know whether around where you live, but people do clean out. So somebody passes away, and the family doesn't want any of the possessions. They want nothing. All they want is money. So whatever it costs, they want all those possessions taken away like a magic wand and have that house on the market and get that. So
Judy says they still say it.
how do they? So you go to the
turkey red wheat was used to make flour.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sally.
Yeah, thanks. Live and learn. It's really neat because everybody's from a different place and they're so smart. So at the flea markets, a lot of times there are dealers and they have beautiful things and nice arrangements. Typically, I don't buy from them. Once in a while I will, but I like all the dirt and the clutter. Just touching tonight, I'm like, my hands are filthy. But this woman was sitting there and it was obvious it was like a clean out, or she found all this at the curb, you know, whatever it was. But I looked at this book, and the one thing I forgot to show you in it, you know, and I was reminiscing, and I decided I wasn't buying anything. I'm going to talk to people and enjoy myself. Well, you see how far that went. This says, a gift from Howard Persina, Executive Director of the Atlantic City Conference, 2/14, Valentine's, 1992. So anyway, it's a signed book and all. So then I said, oh, look, the book is signed, because I was volunteer for the cookbook and I was with all these chefs and I have all these autographed books. It intrigues me when things are signed. So now I start talking to the woman and she said, oh, you should see what I have. So anyway, she starts pulling out and I get all these photographs. She's showing me, oh, this is when this woman, she was a beauty contestant, and this is her wedding pictures, and she goes on, and these are all like from the 50s, I think. Look like they were from the 50s. I haven't looked at this since the day I bought it, and, well, we've had it like 3 months maybe. We bought it in the bitter cold winter, and we stuck it in the car, and I never looked at it again. But these, it's the woman's album, and it's from our wedding, and it's all her wedding pictures. So how much fun would somebody that's into junk journaling and all have for using these pictures? And I thought, such a shame that nobody was interested in keeping that.
I think that's correct, Arlene. We've been there back in the day.
Where's that?
Shady Maple.
Oh yeah, we've been there. Yeah, I think of Riley.
She said, still a smorgasbord.
Yeah, biggest smorgasbord in the world, probably.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. And in there was this picture of I Love Lucy. I'm thinking, I wish I could distribute this stuff to people, because I paid so little for it, because the lady kept, I'll show you some of the stuff, she just kept giving me stuff. I was buying the one thing, and then all of a sudden, I have like 8 boxes of stuff. And I'm like, I really didn't want it, but I couldn't help but not take it.
Rebecca was just at Shady Maple.
Who was?
Rebecca, just this
Oh,
past
wow.
weekend.
Wow. Where do you live, Rebecca, that you go to Shady Maple? How far are we? An hour and a half? Mm-hmm. About an hour and a half from. And this is Walter. Oh, what was his name? The politician.
Mondale.
Yeah, Walter Mondale. And who's the female?
The running mate.
Yeah. So this woman obviously was in politics. So there's all these political pictures. And then there's like engineering notes and Yankee Pilot. So if you were into any of this or junk journaling, this was, oh, she just kept giving me stuff. She kept rooting around and stuff that she had.
Rebecca
and here,
lives in Latrobe, PA. It's 4 hours away.
oh, geez.
Wow, that's
And
a long
look-
ride to go
look
to
at
Shady
this.
Maple.
Look at this wedding picture.
But it is worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it. I thought this was really cool. Oh no, this isn't, I'm wrong, not a wedding picture. Look at this beauty competition. There's a trophy. There's flowers. I guess it's...
Debbie says she ran for vice president, Jerry.
Oh, okay. Good, somebody remembers. Yeah, this is a beauty competition. Look at that. Because someplace I have ribbons and stuff. What I first looked at were all these beautiful ribbons. So hopefully we come to them. And look at this colored photograph. If it can be folded and go into a regular envelope, if there's something you want, I can mail it to you. But only if it can go in a regular envelope. But there are all these pictures. And then there were slides. And then there's a yearbook from Chieftain. Look at this. The basketball team. I remember playing basketball in gym, and girls could only play half a court because they were such a weak sex that it would be too much. But look at the basketball uniforms and all, how funny it is.
Brenda says she's divorced of 35 years, but she still has her wedding album. She's wondering what's going to happen to hers, but she does have a daughter.
Yeah, she might want it. But this is all like the old yearbook and all. And again, if you're into junk journaling, I mean, here's like, it says the library club. Of course, it's backwards, but you could cut that out and put it on something, or just library, or just club.
Hi, Cheryl.
And all
Good
the
to see
pictures and all.
Candy says, I love the Lucy one. She just watched it yesterday.
That, though, I would hate to fold it in half to mail it.
That's a good show.
And then here's the, I think this is the woman that I have all of her possessions. And she ended up, she was a politician, and I can't remember because it's been 3 months since I looked at this stuff.
Hey, it's 8:30.
And she kept handing me stuff. God, John, I have all these boxes for my friends to see.
Hey, it's 8:30, and
look at these. And in case one of these pictures isn't enough, I have two. And you don't want to throw them away, but what the heck do you do with them? And the frames are like the old rusty metal ones.
And hey, remember, you're on the Vintage Country Crafting Friends group tonight, and it's with Janice as our host. And check out the other crafters that went on ahead of us. Catch the replays. Remember, it's a free page. And thanks for supporting us and coming along tonight. We appreciate it, and we'd love to have you follow if you're not. And check out on our pages our link to Telegram and our YouTube page that you can subscribe to.
So this is the Miss America book, and this were what I wanted. Look at this. It's like she said, it's from a beauty competition. It's the ribbon from that. That's the only two things I wanted out of the group. But she kept handing me stuff, and I'm like, oh, geez, I don't want to take this from you. And John walks over, and John's like taking boxes back to the car. I'm like, just like ditch it someplace. But now, so I have all these pictures, and they're all like, all her pictures. Here she is. Doesn't she look like a politician here?
Judy says her kids would have a bonfire. Brenda says someone's beautiful memories floating around.
Yeah. And somebody said, if on your pictures, put a name on it so everybody knows. But these are all her political pictures and all the people that she's met. And obviously she met vice presidential candidate. And then her albums here. I mean, if you were going to do junk...
That ribbon from 1955 is 70 years old.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
But then in here it says, Miss
good to see
Putnam
you.
County Winners Show.
She said she probably loved you, giving you all that stuff.
Yeah, she did. So this woman was Miss Putnam County. I forget, I read Miss Tennessee. Well, lo-de-do. And all these are all pictures of her in beauty competitions and winning and all. This lady. And,
you're welcome.
And later she became, and her courting pictures are all in here, and all kinds of stuff. So if anybody needs any junk journaling stuff, I got plenty. I got plenty here. And her, look at this. These would all be great. I wouldn't feel badly about cutting these up if I were going to do it. But look how pretty. They're all from the 50s. So let's keep moving, John, because there's stuff better than this to show them. More exciting. Let's move on past the beauty competition. So anyway, if anybody sees anything they want out of that, other than the Miss America and this, I'm more than happy to pass that on. But in here also were these ornaments. This one's the White House. Look how cool that is. I have some from Mount Vernon. And this one's from the White House also. This one's from 2006. For some reason, it really bothers me that all your worldly goods that somebody treasured are now just at the curb and then make it away. This is 2000 from the White House, the ornaments. So those, I'll save those few things. But just look at all these pictures. They're just all her memorabilia, fishing trips and all kinds of stuff, and her political pictures.
Thanks for the hearts, everybody.
Here they're on a cruise ship in Copenhagen. So it's all their travels, her pictures growing up. Look at this sweet little picture with the baby carriage and the two little girls. So somewhere along the line, I'll go through a lot of these and figure out what I'm going to do with them. But if anybody's interested in just random old photographs, I'll be glad to, and they can fit in an envelope. I'll be glad to pass some on.
Brenda says it happens everywhere, every day. So many thrift stores and Goodwills.
Yeah, it's really rather sad. And then, as if that wasn't enough, and then we'll move on to some of the other things. But if that wasn't enough,
she was beautiful.
Yeah, she was really pretty. She gave me this box of treasures, and I'm thinking, I don't want this. But there are all kinds of plaques, and this one is for that woman. Many thanks from the Flemington Pioneer football team from 1979. So if somebody were crafting, you could pull this plaque off. You've got these neat little tacks in the corner, and then you could decoupage or whatever you wanted to do with the plaque.
Kathy says some of those things and pictures are waiting to be in a junk journal, better than just Tim Holtz.
Yeah, they're much better than Tim Holtz. You can fussy cut them, which means cut them real close to the people. Or you could use a punch and punch out just like circles with the face on it.
Debbie says it's sad to her that that's how they end up.
Yeah. So this woman was a commissioner at one point.
That it is.
Here is her plaque for being commissioner, and the state of New Jersey. So how cool is that? People, like, you could make a, you know what this would make a cute...
says she'd love a photo of her in her younger years.
Of this woman? Yeah, I would be glad to. I'll make a post for where you can put stuff that you want it, and I'll mail you a couple pictures. The only thing I ask, be a follower. If I'm going to mail it. So this would make a cute charcuterie board for somebody that, say, had lived in New Jersey, moved away. You sand it all down, get rid of all this stuff, and then use what's called food safe product on it. But there's, or you can make a tile out of it for putting hot pots and pans on. And here's another one.
Allegra says she went to a friend of her mother's memorial yesterday. She was able to bring home a quilt and another art piece that her mother had made.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's good. Hi, Angie. Good to see you.
Yeah, I went years ago. Somebody.
She said it's fun to go through treasures.
Yeah, all those pictures, but I don't want to bore you with that if it's not too exciting. Oh, and then, as if that wasn't enough of what she gave me, and this was really cool. This book is called American Hollow, and it's about, and John always yells at me because I hold it up so quickly, but it's backwards, so it's a poignant family epic and an extraordinary portrait of a near-extinct way of life. It's all about Appalachia. So, who lives in Virginia, Southwest Virginia?
Thanks for the hearts, everybody.
I'm trying to think. But anyway, this is a book about Appalachian. It's really interesting. I've seen some documentaries on TV, and they're interesting. And it's just nice to know about how people live in different parts of the country and their lifestyles and their values and all. And everybody has the same core values, ironically.
And the G says, what beautiful memories.
But anyway, this book I thought was really neat, and I'll enjoy looking at it. I have family down in that area, and I lived down there before, so that'll be really fun. So I was looking, after I bought that red wool coat back somewhere in the winter, and I washed it in the washing machine, and I felted the red wool coat, if you remember. Felting means like you put it in hot water or something, and the fibers become entangled, and it becomes much smaller, and when you cut it, it doesn't ravel because it's felted. So there's felt fabric, which is actually felted stuff, and then you can felt like a wool skirt or something. I felted that coat. And then there's felting where you have the felting needle and you poke, and I think I made a couple things on here that I felted, a couple hearts and things that I felted. But anyway, I found these there, and I think they were $1.
Nora says, me, I live in Southwest Virginia.
Nora, that's who it was, yeah. I knew somebody. I'm like, who lives there? It's somebody I know. I just couldn't think. Sorry, Nora. But that book I found very fascinating. But she gave that to me too. So I only spent a couple dollars because a couple things I wanted, the book, Miss America book, that ribbon, and that was all I was going to buy. And then everything else she gave me, and the Appalachian book, which I'll really enjoy. So this I bought from somebody, and it's wool. And it's already felted, and I think they're liners for like your goulashes.
Roland says those are neat.
And they're only $1, and I thought I was looking for white wool that I could felt and make some roses out of or make things out of. But once I got them, I know John's feet are always cold, and so he may end up putting these on over his socks and inside boots if he can fit them into some of his boots because they're really bulky. So I don't know whether I'll cut them up or they would make good slippers. They look big, but that's just because they're flat as a pancake.
Lady T said she lived in the mountains of Virginia, Little Cobbler Mountain, which was 15 miles east of Skyline Drive.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
I guess she did, Debbie.
So what was I going to show? I got through these boxes. These were empty boxes. Okay. So now I was going to show you. I told you this is months and months of flea market or marketplace finds that I was going to show you, and then time just slips past. So I thought this was really neat. This was a little girl's coat. Look how precious.
Those cool felt boots.
Yeah, aren't they cool? Yeah, they're liners, I think, for like if you like, You could even use them if you wore waders. Did you ever try that fly fishing and you have the waders that come up to your waist? I've done so many crazy things in my life. My daughter and I had the opportunity to take fly fishing lessons. Somebody I knew was going up into Pennsylvania to fly fish, and I thought it would be fun to try. And you went up and they gave you the waders, you know, they're like boots and all the way up to here, and the suspenders, and you walk out into the stream and you have to work and you have to get this whip thing and figure it all out. And my daughter and I were taking the lessons and all, and then you're supposed to go fish on your own a little bit in the stream and catch something. Well, guess what? There were these big rocks in the stream, and they were just begging for me to lie down and be nice and warm and take a nap. I think my daughter kept fishing, but that was our fly fishing. But I was thinking these would have been really good under those
Judy says you could
boots.
just lay around in them.
Yeah, they would be nice and warm.
Cheryl loves the little girl stuff.
Yeah, and here, if you can see, there's little flowers embroidered on it, and it's definitely a little handmade coat, all hand sewn and all. Very adorable. And it came...
Janice says it's adorable.
It came with this sweet little bonnet. So, of course, these will go up into the kids' room. And then I forget how much it was. It wasn't very much. It was like $2 or something. But then when I was folding it, because you can't get a bag in New Jersey, you have to bring your own bag. I was folding it to put it in the bag. And then he says, oh, you forgot the little boots. So look how sweet these are. They're little... They even have a little tongue in there.
Debbie says she's done that before too, taking things someone else wanted to be rid of. But her outbuildings show it. She can't walk in there.
Yeah, that's like our house. And then he says, oh, you have to take this. And this actually looks like my phone could be in there, the size of my phone. But this is like a little handbag thing. Very crudely made. So then he gives me this. Like, I must be like, give me the stuff you don't want kind of girl look. And then he said, oh, but you didn't take the rest of the stuff. And along with that, do you remember these little hats? I had this. You put it on and you tied it like this. And it covered your ears on the cold days. And this, oh man, I would have loved to have had this. It has sequins and beads on it. I was always like the girl that liked all the fancy stuff, wore all the jewelry to elementary school.
That's a sad story, Rolla. Crazy though, right?
And look, a little cute little hat. And I guess it's yellow, a pale yellow. It's really pretty with the little satin ribbons. And I haven't even opened any of this since I bought it. I didn't even know what I got. And look, a cute little dress. It probably had little pants that went with it. Oh, I should
Brenda
remember
says
who it was.
Someone made it.
Yeah.
Candy says she's excited to see all these treasures. Debbie loves the little coat.
And it's got, I don't know whether you can see. Can you see the little buttons?
You have to wait for the delay.
Has little buttons. My arms will get tired. It has the sweet little mother of pearl buttons, the real tiny ones.
You see.
Barely see them.
Yep.
But this is like a little seersucker fabric. Really sweet. But it should have had pants. If I could find that guy again, ask him, where are those pants for that dress that you gave me?
Lady T says precious.
Aren't they so sweet?
Lois says so cute. Judy says she's put those hats on her daughters. Candy says she's totally forgot about those hats.
Yeah, I put them on my daughter too. Probably damaged her for life from it.
Yeah.
But it was like a real doll. You got to dress the doll. I used to dress her up every day, and it was so much fun. But these little boots are so cute, and they're wool. They're like felted wool.
Well, it's good you have them, Rolla.
But it's so much fun.
Hi, Dawn. Good to see you.
So much fun. Hi, Dawn. So that was that. I'm going through all this. And this is when you do a porch pickup. I don't know whether have that in the marketplace where...
Brenda has one of her first dolls with a dress on it that her mother made for her.
Oh, that's cool. On the porch pickups, like on the marketplace, I have friends that are on there, and they list all these things, and everything's really modestly priced. And I usually buy quite a few things, and then at a point they say, when do you want to pick up? And then they tell you what you owe. You don't even remember what you bought, because sometimes it's been a month. But they put it in a bag on the front porch, and then you put the money in the mail slot or wherever they tell you. Hide it under the flower pot in the back left corner of the garage. But anyway, I got this darning egg. Did you guys darn when you were little? Because my mother had me since like age 4 or 5 darning socks, and they had to be horrible, and they had to be all lumpy and all. But they were done, and they went back into people's drawers and all. After I darned them, she didn't even check them. I just put them in everybody's drawer. But so now, look at that, how cute it is. I got that. And then this looks like it came from...
Debbie has a couple of dresses that were hers as a baby. Still has them.
Oh, that's cool.
And Lola has her baby shoes.
Oh, cool.
Candy says her daughter was born in '76, so she loved dressing her up. Lacy socks, eyelet bonnets, ruffled diaper covers, etc. Loved it all.
Yeah. And this looks like it's from like the 4-poster bed, like on the top of it, or I think sometimes clocks have these, but that was in the stuff that I got. And then I got a pair of these.
Nancy says they have that in Western Maryland.
Oh.
10 minutes.
They're shoe stretchers. So when you got shoes and they'd be all stiff or whatever, you could put these in, and these say they're Bostonians. My dad always put the shoe stretchers in his shoes. It would keep them in nice shape and all that. And if they used to put rubbers over their shoes to keep them from getting wet, if you remember that. Or the galoshes. Some of them had the clip things over on the men's. But they would put the shoe stretchers in to store their shoes and keep them in nice shape and in the closet and all. And so I got a pair of these shoe stretchers.
Lady T says, I still do. Rolla says she loves old stuff. Nora says, how adorable.
So I have them. And then this thing was really cool. This came from the flea market. Needs a little repair there. But it's somebody's artwork. And look how cool it is. It has a little piece dangling. I'll have to fix that. But it's like screen and looks like somebody's art project and soldering and all. Just kind of interesting. I was thinking it would be cool on a necklace or a big pin for a coat or something like that. But it's kind of cool. It has newspaper decoupaged on it and all.
Sandy says she's tried to darn with a light bulb.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that.
Debbie says, I have my white, hard sole baby shoes that her aunt had bronzed for her at Christmas one year. That's cool.
So now we'll go on to this box.
8 minutes.
So we'll see how far we can get. We're on tomorrow night, so if you guys, show me hearts if you'd like me tomorrow night to continue, because this is boxes of pure excitement and ecstaticness if you like this kind of stuff. But show me hearts if you'd like tomorrow night when we're on. We're on at what time? 9 o'clock tomorrow. I can continue and go through these because these boxes are really fun stuff. But this is an old hat. Look at that. So I'm seeing hearts, guys. So you're saying you'd like me just to continue tomorrow night and go through, because I have 2 boxes. When I bought that church, remember the church that John cleaned up and made the cross for and all?
Yes, Sandra says continue.
Okay.
You got lots of hearts. Candy says,
Good.
Marilyn, will you start us all on a junk journal, and you could use many of these things. So fun.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Debbie
I did
says
a
that
few.
could be neat in a junk journal.
Yeah, isn't that cool? On the cover of a junk journal or something. That would be cool.
Debbie says, yep, continue.
Yeah, maybe we'll make, my brain zips all over with those photographs. Maybe I can make people that want to do junk journals. We'll do them maybe as like a little group
Debbie
event.
says she loves this stuff, but Lord, she doesn't need any more.
I can mail you a couple pictures out of there to include in yours. As long as I can put it in a regular envelope, it won't break the bank as long as there's not like 1,000 people wanting it. But this hat is all feathers. Look how cool it is. Oh, so anyway, I bought that church, right? And how much was the church?
$10.
$10 for the church. I got heart palpitations. I was so excited. I can't ever remember price. I just know things are reasonable. So
I just happen to remember that.
So then, I just couldn't believe it. I was beside myself about that church. It was beyond anything I thought I could own. I mean, I have simple, like all these people want expensive jewelry and trips and all. That's not me. I was just so excited. So then, when I looked around, my goodness, there were so many good things. And so I think I only paid $10 or $20 more, I'm not sure. I think everything together maybe was $20. I'm not sure about the money. But this was one of these clean outs. And you had a mixed feeling. It was like an emotional roller coaster. For 1 minute you want to sob because you think somebody's worldly goods that they treasured are all just swooped. They're all swoop boxes, swooped all their stuff in boxes and dumped on tables. And when we go, we're always late, and the stuff's all picked over and broken and all. But anyway, this person must have bought this hat, and it still had the tag on it, and they paid $28 for it, and they never wore it, I guess. So this was all...
Janice says, that's gorgeous.
All swoop boxes, and this is like all peacock colors. It's really pretty. So if you wanted to break it down, you could. It has netting and feathers and all that.
Debbie says she bought hats at an elderly lady's estate sale that she had gone to church with as a kid.
Wow. And look, it's got a velvet bow. So one time, if you remember what my big bathroom looks like that I gave you the tour on, one time I thought I'll set it up with some stuff and show a lot of my hats, because I have a really extensive old hat collection. And I'm sorry, I don't cut up the kids' clothes, and I can't take hats apart. It's just me. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I just like them the way they are. And I don't think you could make them any better. But anyway, I started getting all these swoop boxes. So John went to get the car to buy the church, and then when he came back, I kept handing him boxes.
That's correct, Freda.
So I have all these big boxes of stuff. But look at this. It's a box from Christmas cards, and I'll get John to try to glue the back on it, because he's really good at tedious little repairs like that. But look how cute it is. It's
Debbie
just
says
so
she
sweet.
could never cut that up either.
And I figured, how cute would this look under a Christmas tree along with other things? But, so I started making a pile, and each time I was adding more stuff. So then, the sad thing is, like a lot of this stuff, probably the person treasured it, and the lid was always with this, and you just picture it being on the side of their buffet, their sideboard or whatever. But look how pretty this is. It's like a sugar bowl, and it's missing the lid. But you could use this for a plant. You could stand up your teaspoons in this. Could certainly use a good washing. So tonight we'll take it up, now that we're going through this box. We'll take it up and soak it really good. It has Chinese writing on it, which I don't know how to read.
Debbie says, love that box. What finds you have?
But It's just really cool if you can
About 2
catch
minutes.
the picture. And so let me show you the another piece that China.
Yes, she
there's-
does, Fred. She
there's-
says you have a vast imagination.
Yeah, I do. And I look at this stuff. Now look at this. I believe this is what they call a biscuit jar, but it could be a really big sugar bowl. I don't know how you tell which is which. But this has to be Victorian. And it's sad because it was thrown there and there's a chip in it, you know, and you think these people probably treasured this. But look, it has pretty flowers and it has an insect. Look how cool. These are all hand painted. And can't you picture this being like a little biscuit jar on the table when you had a tea, or for a big sugar bowl in the kitchen? I like this better than the sugar bowl I have. But it's all like Victorian and all hand painted. And I do have the lid for that.
So hey, it's less than a minute, and we just want to say to Janice, thanks so much for inviting us along, and we appreciate it. And remember, the Vintage Country Crafting Friends group is a free page, so don't forget to join and check out the crafters and watch their replays. I'm sure they would appreciate it, as would we.
And there's a new page that Janice started, and she added me on as an admin in the page. And Janice, if you're on, can you please put the link for that page? But it's where you ask to join, and it's another free group. And there will be all kinds of things where people display vintage stuff that they have. And you can also share pictures that you have. So I'll have more information for that tomorrow. Or we'll put it on the page, or Janice will put the link on here. But tomorrow we'll show a lot more. It's all this stuff, the swoop stuff that I got along with the church, and everything is just so amazing.
That it does, Sandy. Hey, it's 9 o'clock. That means we gotta
So thanks
go.
so much, everybody, for joining us. We had a great time. I hope you enjoyed what I showed tonight, and I'm really excited about showing you all this stuff. And I did a couple other marketplace things that I'm anxious to share. So thanks so much, guys.
We'll see you tomorrow at 9.
See you tomorrow at 9.
Have a good night.